104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live?
From the original Walk-Ons, Burbank at Nicholson. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff along with Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kitchen's back in the studio. Colucci with us today. Matt Humans with us today. Kenny White with us today. And you know what? Tomorrow here at Walk-Ons, yeah, it's Valentine's Day, but it's a big day on the LSU campus with the opening day of LSU baseball, plus the 1 versus 2 gymnastics meet in the PMAC between LSU and Oklahoma. Man, and of course, LSU baseball all weekend, but the opening afternoon is tomorrow. So, man, look, no better time to reacquaint yourself with Walk-Ons if you want to come out. If you're coming out for either of those big events tomorrow, pretty big day on campus tomorrow.
Yeah,
Jimmy. So, come on by the original Walk-Ons here at Burbank.
And filling up fast too, man, for the crawfish boils. So on-site, off-site, the schedule is filling up quick. Should be a really good season this year, so we can do it at any level. You know, just providing a boiled crawfish, or you want to do the servers, you want to do the whole cleanup, you want to do a whole bar, portable bar, whatever level. You got a lot of different options because a lot of different people want different levels, you know, of for their crawfish boils. Someone will bring the whole shebang, and some just want the boiled crawfish, and that's it.
Also, I should mention this weekend, full slate of softball. Some really LSU softball is going to take on 4 games against ranked teams, 2 against Virginia Tech, 2 against Northwestern, and they play tomorrow afternoon against UT Arlington. If you hadn't heard about the new, I'm not going to call her a phenom, but boy, she get off to a great start in her career, throwing a perfect game, Jaden Heavner. So you want to get to the campus, you can see some really cool stuff tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here on the LSU campus.
Softball on right now. I guess this is live, huh? On SEC Network. It might be taped.
No, that it's in Clearwater. That looks like one of those tournaments.
So Clearwater Invitational. Okay,
where they play all day.
So Wichita State's playing Kentucky, but I love the coach had for Wichita State had a great Under Armour shirt with the slogan.
Which
fear the wheat.
Okay,
fear the wheat, Charlie.
Hadn't heard that one.
Speaking of LSU baseball, of course, first 2 national championships, 91-93, in the final.
Beat Stevenson both times.
Oh yes, they beat him, and then 96 they beat him 9-8 in the opener when they had the bases loaded, 1 out, down 9-8 the 9th inning.
Not 9-1 lead that almost evaporated.
Yes, that was in the Rosenblatt era too. So that was a hell of a wiggle to get out of that.
Thank you, Kevin Shipp.
Yes,
who put his shoes on late. Last night we had some excellent basketball games last night. The one in Fayetteville was not one of them, but we had some really good games. Villanova put an end to St. John's winning streak, but it was an excellent game to watch because the Johnnies have played about as good a defense as I think anybody.
Who's your best defensive teams in the country?
Tennessee's up there.
Tennessee.
Yeah. They're the first team that comes to mind in the Southeastern Conference defensively.
St. John's the number 1 scoring defense in the Big East. They are. I think they might be. They're right there. They're right. I mean, give or take. They press a bit better, and they use that press to flip 11-point deficit into a 12-0 run.
Yeah.
So they use that at their so
this isn't one of the better Villanova teams, but boy, they shoot the ball well last night. They make 11 threes and shoot 46% there, and they shot better than 50% from the floor, which is one of the few teams to do that, if not the only team in Big East play to do that against the Johnnies. So Villanova with a home, that to me is one of those games. Hey, listen, through a 16 or 18 game conference schedule, you're going to run into even the best teams. You're going to run into a buzzsaw one of those nights. if anything, Jimmy, I left that game being more impressed with St. John, and here's why. They go on the road. Okay, I know Villanova's kind of a middle of the road team, but on the road, Villanova shoots 53%, 40 from the floor, 46% from three. They didn't get to the free throw line very much. Neither of these teams, and Villanova won by 2. Okay. When you run into one of those hot teams, maybe some of those games can get away
on a last
with
second on a 3-pointer with 6 seconds to go.
Yeah, so it comes down to the end. That's what it took to beat you.
Yeah.
If it takes that to beat you, you got a pretty good team. So that's one of those. I'm almost going to say it shouldn't hurt St. John's at all. At least didn't in my mind.
Well, on the our Sports Bettors Paradise on our podcast, this was one of the games that I picked, and on Otterlocks yesterday too, I picked St. John's. -2, and they were up 2 with 6 seconds to go. And Charlie, I just talked about that game we watched together where I had Xavier on Sunday, and they lost a 6-point lead, catching points, with 13 minutes to go. 13 minutes to go, Villanova scored an 8 of 9 trips, and it's a lot of numbers. I get it, but they scored 8 of 9 trips to flip a 6-point deficit into an 8-point lead in an 8-minute stretch from 13-minute mark to the 5-minute mark. So for that game, they shot over 50% from the field, 50% from 3 and 100% from the front line. They're not doing that against St. John's, the best defense in the league and maybe in the country. Oh, no, Charlie. They did shoot over 50% from the field last night. Yeah. They didn't shoot 50% from 3. They shot 46%. Real dip down. 46% and shot from 100% to 77%. Here's the big deal, though, last night in the box score. You're talking about that great shooting against a great defense. Their best player averaging 23.5 a game. He's about to pass guys like Kerry Kittles, all-time Dixon. So a Dixon shot?
I didn't.
5 of 17.
Okay. Well, and your best
5
player,
of 17.
Player,
you shoot that good, and he shoots that poorly. Yeah. They're playing good basketball right now.
St. John's, they've got a game left against Creighton. They've got a game left at Marquette, but they're probably going to win the Big East. Where does that put them as far as the tournament?
Oh, it opens it up again since last night. So are you just trying to say if they win the Big East?
If they win the Big East, they're 2 seed?
I think they had them where like a 3 or 4 before last night.
And so if they win 5 of the last 6 or 6 of the last 7.
They have a 1-game lead now over Creighton, a 2-game lead over Marquette.
The net's all the way down to 22 is why I'm asking.
That's why. I can't see them getting a 2. They'd have to win out. They have to win.
Win out would include wins against Creighton and Marquette on the road at Marquette. I don't expect them to win out. The Q1 wins, there's only 3 of them there. By example, if that's your Big East champion, Auburn's got 12. If they happen to win the SEC, of course,
they're just part of the equation. You got to see what a Florida does. You have to see what a Tennessee does.
Right.
You have to see what some of these other a potential number 2 seeds do.
We're gonna be talking
Duke is
about
probably going to be a number 1.
Duke's going to be a number 1 unless
damaging loss for an ACC team last night. Wake Forest losing a double-digit lead late against Florida State, and almost damaging. We're talking about it on the broadcast in the LSU game last night. They're talking about Arkansas. The LSU was up at half, and they were a few boos in Barnhill. So they're booing and covering. That's a nice place to be, huh?
Yeah,
we're booing a team and we're going to cover the spread.
LSU can't play 40 minutes on the road. We're going to be talking about this more in the coming weeks. Will the SEC get 3 number 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament?
It's going to be hard.
Well,
good.
In the net right now, they've got 4 of the top 6. Okay, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama. And then it's Duke and Houston that are wedged in there. I think it's probably more likely.
Is the Big Ten going to beat each other up? Whoever
Iowa State's your top.
That's Big 12.
I'm sorry, Big 12. Purdue's your top team out of the Big 10. Iowa State and Purdue are right there.
I don't think Purdue's going to be the number 1.
They're an 8 right now. In the net. So it's something to put on your radar, right? There's a lot of basketball left to play, but I don't
think Purdue's the team to win out either.
I think more than likely, it's going to be two SEC teams, Duke and Houston, as your 4 number 1
Oh,
seeds.
Houston's going to be hard to.
Right now, that's how it would be. So we got
Duke, Houston, 2 number. Yeah, right now for sure.
Right
for
now,
sure.
That's where we're at. LSU last night, they were game for a half. It was best game for Robert Miller,
He
the
played,
very
he played,
highly
he
touted
played well.
player. Yeah, he flashed. That's why he was recruited as highly as he is.
It was a fun matchup, the two bigs.
Big Z, as the broadcast team called him all night. Evasick came with Calipari from Kentucky. He was about a 10-minute a game guy for Kentucky last year, and for the first 18 or so games this year, that's about what he was. But he has come on in fact, the first game against LSU only played 7 minutes.
Is that right? Yeah.
He has really come on in the last couple of weeks, and he had 29 against Alabama. He had 25 last night, and LSU had no answer for him. He was not just on the offensive end, but on the defensive end. You could see him really making a difference. But both teams, I thought, missed a lot of shots at the rim. And for LSU, I understood why it was. Ivasick was, he's 7'2". He's got this gigantic wingspan, and he is not a plotter. He's not a bad athlete at all.
No, he stepped out missing threes, man.
He shoots like 40% from three.
Yeah,
he doesn't take a lot of them, but he shoots like 40%. So he was active and it made it difficult. LSU had some open shots, open drives to the basket, but he was lurking, and I thought it affected a lot of their shots. Arkansas missed a lot of shots, I thought, at the rim as well. And it's just a lot to ask this LSU team to go out and be able to execute for 40 minutes on the road.
Here's his last 5 games: 10 against Oklahoma, 14 in that road win.
Yeah.
Calipari's return to Rupp Arena in Kentucky, 9 against Texas, but the last 2, 27 and 25 against Alabama and LSU. 7 rebounds against Bama, 3 against LSU. So, but 7 in the last 3 games, 11 block shots. So he's getting really comfortable defending the rim. That is a big that's more than the rest of the SEC. Last 3, he's got 11, and he's got 7 the rest of the SEC schedule.
So he's getting on.
He's getting yeah, he's coming on. He's this is where you try and watch. Teams like as a team, there's nobody. I can't remember a turnaround like Kansas State. You lose 9 out of 10 games, and now they win 6 in a row, including 4 ranked teams. Iowa State on the road by 20. So and Arizona had won 17 of 18, but no, individually, this is a kid, and they need it. They need it because it was such an important game for Arkansas. They go on, they lose to Alabama. Okay, no big deal. You're not going to get dinged up for that.
Yeah.
Oh, but you lose at home to LSU,
especially being your second loss to LSU. That'd be the double whammy. That would stick out like a sore thumb on your resume.
I called it the basketball version of Ole Miss losing to 1-7 Kentucky at home in football.
That's a great analogy. Arkansas squarely on the bubble right now with a 41 net. Probably got some work to do. If you're an LSU fan, and you
already has them.
If you're looking for some positive light, it was Miller last night. Again, he was a top 100 guy. He's had a very quiet freshman season. That's the first time he's had double digits all year. But you could see some of the things. We're having to fish for anything positive with this LSU basketball season. But Miller's performance last night was one of them. You saw some of the moves, like, oh, okay.
No, he's a 6'10" guy that he's talented. He's got some talent. Yeah. He's got some game.
And that was his first double-digit game. So good.
What did he finish from the floor?
He finished. Let's see. I had the box score here a second ago.
Miller finished 8 for 13.
8 for 13.
8 for 13, and
some drives.
It's some impressive. He's skilled.
Yeah.
He's skilled. He's got,
that's a guy. If he comes back next year,
certainly. He doesn't have a huge frame. He's thin. But
it's been a year in the weight room.
Well, yeah, he's limp. He's got a ceiling on how much bigger, but he will get a little bigger, a little stronger, and which add to it because he's got some moves, he's got some polish. That's it's usually the SEC players that you got the physicality, but we're trying to get the basketball. He's got basketball skills.
He does.
Yeah,
he does. South Carolina continues to be a pest at home. They were tied with 2 minutes to go, but Ole Miss, an important win, I thought, for Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Even again, if nothing more than to avoid a bad loss for Ole Miss. So they get the win last night. And Missouri, biggest turnaround in the league. Lost them all last year. They're now 7-4 after a blowout win at home against Oklahoma.
Ole Miss was one of my picks last night, and we took advantage of the line movement. It was sort of a late release on Outer Locks last night. We liked the 3.5, and it falls 4. But it looked like it was finally going to be a comfortable win on the road at South Carolina. They're up 10.5, 10-12, the whole thing. Here comes Carolina. A lot of whistles in the game. Not saying, favored either team. Now, the Ole Miss broadcast team, when I was going to get some groceries, they were winding up a storm.
Oh, well.
I mean, that's the way that goes. But here's South Carolina, Charlie. They had the lead up. It went under 3 minutes last night. They had the lead against Florida under 1 minute. They're winning with under 3 minutes to go against Auburn at home. They go to overtime against State. They beat Clemson, who's 12-2 in the ACC. They just get that is for so many, and they were tied with Vandy with under a minute to go on the road. I mean, they have just so many close losses. That's 5 of them in the conference with a team that does not have a win. You just wonder, man, huh? They're playing hard, but at some point, man, when are they gonna lose their enthusiasm?
At home, they have been a real pain in the neck to play. They come here next Tuesday. It'll be the 2 bottom teams in the SEC, and I'm sure even though South Carolina has not played well on the road, that Vandy game was the outlier. The rest of the games they've been handled on the road. They've been a real pain in the neck at home. They're going to come in here and look at this. It's going to be the opposite of what Alabama and Auburn did. Alabama and Auburn looked at LSU as an exhale spot. South Carolina is going to be looking at that as here's our chance for a win. This is our best chance, even though it's on the road. This is one of our best chances, if not our best chance, for a win to avoid the bagel in SEC play. So, we'll see.
Arkansas, by the way, first team out of bracketology, and that's a few days ago. That's not updated today.
Yeah, 41 net. They're right on the bubble. And Mizzou with the big win last night. We're here at Walkons, the original Burbank at Nicholson. Again, getting ready for the big weekend on campus. Baseball, softball, gymnastics, all in on campus this weekend. Live at lunch, 145 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
we can be twinsies
to
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Do you feel like you get hurt at the most inconvenient times? Brock's After Hours Clinic has you covered for a break, sprain, or strain. Open 7 days a week, nights and weekends. Walk-ins welcome. Learn more, brortho.com.
This is Charles Henniger for Supreme Rice. I sort of feel like a member of the Supreme Rice family because they're from Southwest Louisiana, just like me. So when you're enjoying Supreme Rice, the perfect complement for all your red and white beans, stews, gumbos, and etouffees, know that you're also supporting our Louisiana farmers and stretching your food dollar at the same time. Supreme Rice, for the last 80 years, has been delighting their customers. So pick up Supreme Rice the next time you shop. For more information and unique recipes, learn more at supremerice.com.
1045 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust are back with another major sweepstakes in 2025. This time, we want to cover your car payments.
Sweet. That's awesome.
It's a $5,000 grand prize with a bonus chance to win free car washes from Benny's Car Wash for 6 months. We're also letting you earn extra entries by subscribing to our LouisianaSports.net daily newsletter. To sign up, visit 1045ESPN.com. From Citizens Bank, Benny's Car Wash, and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes. We'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Ladies, get ready for Movies on the Plaza, Galentine's Edition. Join us on Friday, February 14th at 5 p.m. at the main library at Goodwood for a night of celebrating friendship. You can make friendship bracelets, treat yourself to a manicure, and enjoy sweet treats. Then at 7, we'll be screening the iconic coming-of-age film, Now and Then, where 4 childhood friends reunite to reflect on the summer that shaped their lives. There's also a pet adoption event from Companion Animal Alliance. For more information, visit ebrpl.com.
Jake and James, the Trash Rangers. Do you need one more reason to switch your residential trash pickup? How about $13.95 a month for the first few months? Go to trashrangers.com and make the switch today.
Brandon Holly here. You want a company that has a true lifetime warranty? ReliefWindows.com, baby.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 1045 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, LouisianaSports.net, 1045ESPN.com. Handycast podcast up at YouTube right now. Both of our LSU baseball previews are up right now with Dan Canterbury. We're about 10 minutes away from the introduction of Kellen Moore as the head coach down in New Orleans. Jimmy, we've been
talking about Colucci.
No, we're 10 minutes away from Colucci too. We've seen a million of these introductory press conferences. They're always upbeat. Everybody's undefeated, and all that's good. And I suspect he'll be fine and will win the press conference. Most of them do. I'm interested in this for one reason and one reason only, or one main reason. I want to see what he says about Derek Carr, because that's the number one question of the Saints offseason. It's something that Mickey Loomis, whether he was being truthful or not, I don't know.
Tell you what he's going to say.
Well, hang on. Whether Loomis was being honest or not, he said the next coach will have a lot of say over personnel, including the quarterback, and they got to make a decision on Derek Carr inside of a month. So, if you know, you're going to predict what he's going to say. What is he going to say?
Well, we're going to look very hard at it. You know, Derek's a professional.
Yeah.
You know, all the PC stuff. I mean, you don't think
Sure,
he's going to
sure.
get anything.
No, I don't think he's going to say we're definitely moving on from Derek Carr. We're definitely keeping him.
I think we both think he's going to move on. I kind of get that hunch.
I do.
I think and that's kind of what we would do as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, but I mean, he's happy to be here. It's his first job. He's very young. I mean, how old is he?
He's going to be 37 this summer.
He's
the youngest coach in the league.
He will be the youngest coach.
No, he is the youngest coach right now.
So, well, he's not the youngest hire. Ever.
No, he's not the youngest hire ever.
Okay,
but the youngest current coach in the
my
league.
point is that he's happy to have. It's one of the reasons Saints were able to get him. Is because it's at a very young part of his career where and it, to be fair and incomplete. Yeah. You know, so he's done some good things. It's such a short sample size, but I mean, he's going to say he is not going to make any waves or say anything earth.
No, but I want to see his tone. I want to see how he handles.
You've seen his tone. He's kind of mild mannered.
and that's fine too. I don't need.
He's not going to turn into
ranting
Nick
and raving on the
Saban at a local
sidelines.
press conference.
Right.
Put that in your depth chart.
But no, he's not going to be.
No,
like
he's
that.
not going to do that.
But again, I would move on. You would move on. Most of the Saints fans that we've heard from would move on from Carr. But you keep coming back to the one thing. Derek Carr gives them the best chance to win next year.
Yes.
And so if you're Kellen Moore and you're
That's
saying,
where we disagree with the fans, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
With that last place schedule and Derek Carr, let's say he played 17 games next year, the Saints might win 6 or 7. Maybe it's 5 or 6. I don't know. But if they move on from him with the realistic replacements that they have or can get for him, they're probably looking at 3 or 4 wins. And that's a hell of a thing for a brand new coach in his first coaching job to have to swallow that. I'm letting a guy walk out the door that can help me win more games than the guy I'm replacing him with.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a big picture thing. And that's why I'm not sure. I think, but I'm not sure that they're gonna move on from Derek Carr. The biggest reason you've heard us say this, it's $51 million coming or going with Carr. It's just how you account for it. My biggest thing is I want them out of the Derek Carr business by 27 from a salary cap standpoint. You get him out of the building today, you cut him after June 1st, and you amortize his stuff. He's on the books next year for about $28 million, and then you're done with Derek Carr. If you keep him, I don't see how you can keep him on this contract, so you got to restructure it. And then you're in the Derek Carr business, whether he's in the building or not, at least into 28, and I'm trying to cut my losses with Carr.
We've been through this. Yeah, move on.
So that's it.
No, he's not going to say. He's not going to say you're tired. He's going to say the right. No, we're going to. What do you want to do? You don't want to piss it. I mean, he's going to be professional. We're going to look hard at this. Mickey and I. We'll do this. We'll evaluate. He's done some good things. He's done some. But I mean, they.
But he knows, right? He knows what he's going to do.
Oh,
he may not say it today, but he knows.
He's got an idea of what he wants to do.
I mean, don't you think?
No, he doesn't.
He and Loomis talked that they decided.
Oh, this is one of the
one way or the other.
I don't think they're decided. I'm not sure if they've decided yet. I'm not sure. He just got back. I mean, how much time has he had to spend? When did he get from Philadelphia to New Orleans?
Tuesday. But he pretty much had this job
but
the Monday
he's
of
not,
Super Bowl week.
But Kellen Moore is not telling, I'm not taking his job if you're forcing Carr on me. No. He's not asking for conditions.
But don't you think he's got it in his mind? Whether
absolutely he has it in his mind. Yeah. And Loomis does too.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a shared, maybe now what percentage, who has the 51% in the relationship?
Oh, Loomis has got it. I mean, I know that one.
But he'd be.
I think
even Loomis would have to consult with the coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think.
He's not Nico Harrison. What happened to Luka? He gone.
They got smoked last night, by the way. By the Jazz, who are tanking.
Oh, the Lakers got smoked by the Jazz. Yeah. The Mavericks lost at the end.
They won last night.
They won? Okay.
Yes.
They were without all their big men last night. Kyrie had a big game. Kyrie had a big game. I thought they lost. They won.
Don't know who's winning or losing. It does kind of matter, huh, boy?
It does.
Damn.
It does.
We're live here at the Walk-Ons. And, man, yes, come on by. Love is in the air at Walk-Ons tomorrow. We got baseball opening day. We got gymnastics. 6 of the last 10. Oklahoma has won. My goodness. But the reigning champs is
they're almost as good as their softball team.
The LSU tie. Fear the wheat. Look at that shirt, Charlie. Isn't that great?
Love
it is great. But also don't forget to hook up for a year crawfish boils as well. Call Dustin over here at Walk-Ons, on site or off site. Also our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service is what you get when you call 296-0060. Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title.
Live at Walk-Ons, the original here on campus, live at lunch 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
As we talk about the tailgating and LSU baseball, if you're going down to the Thibodeau store in Thibodeau, 900 St. Patrick Highway, Big selection of grills, big selection of crawfish pots, jambalaya pots, big green egg cookers. You know a little bit about that, right?
Yes, we did it. I'm actually up for Employee of the Month.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got a big
I was
green egg
had the
cooker?
wrench. No, we were trying. It's very heavy, so we had to do a little maneuver and takes the guts out and things like that. Yes. Yeah, they got me up for Employee of the Month. I'm the early leader in the clubhouse.
I expect to be invited over for whatever you're cooking on your big green egg cooker, but that's part of what you got down at the Thibodeau store. Crawfish pots, jambalaya pots, big green egg cookers, a ton of grills as we get here closer towards spring and tailgating weather for LSU baseball. Power tools, hand tools, plumbing supplies, electrical supplies, you got it all at the Thibodeau store. And shop online with delivery available for many of their items at ThibodeauStore.com. Sister property, the Pierre Part store down at Pierre Part. Get all your lumber delivered from there. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau store.
Are you a chronic interrupter? Incapable of letting other people talk? Do those people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have a 120-night sleep trial, so you can get your money back if a bed's not right. That way, anyone, even someone like you, can sleep. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Paid for by Hims & Hers Health. Hims & Hers Weight Loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at forhers.com apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs, but too few can access or afford them. Hers is changing that. At forhers.com/start, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss plans tailored to you, like GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, or oral medications at a fraction of the price. That's right. You'll save up to 91% per month on compounded semaglutide based on pricing through Hers, the same active ingredient as the name brand drug at 91% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees, just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/start to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/start. FORHERS.com/start.
Majestic Metals is located in Sorrento with over 60 years experience in the pre-engineered metal building industry. Majestic Metals is the leading metal roofing manufacturer with high-quality products, superior customer service, and a fast turnaround. We offer both commercial and residential roofing, including a standing seam panel in a variety of colors with a 40-year paint warranty. A metal roof can add value to your home and is energy efficient.
You might want to text Colucci.
Yeah.
Tell Jimmy text Colucci.
Text Colucci.
Are your hormones out of balance? Rejuve Medical offers personalized treatments, including semaglutide and hormone replacement therapy. Transform your body and your life at RejuveMeMedical.com. That's REJME Medical.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers.
He's just not answering.
Okay.
Emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And today's show also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners, because there are no two situations in retirement alike. Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, as well as any of your business partners, your legal team, your tax professionals, to make sure your goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you to develop a lifelong plan. I know, because that's what they have done for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff, 337-981-1376, or online, coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
All right, but I know we were having a little trouble getting Colucci on, but listen, please play his intro. He does not like to come on with you. There we go. Come on, where's that girl?
It's
Come on,
time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Ain't no way we're going to have a Colucci appearance on Valentine's Day Eve without the woman talking to him. What's up? Love is in the air, Colucci.
Love is in the air. How you guys doing? What a rough Super Bowl week, I tell you. Geez, we're still recovering out here in Las Vegas, and the game wasn't even here,
guys.
You did better than the Pennsylvania sports books. They lost $6.5 million on
well,
the Super
Bowl.
Yeah. Charlie, I don't know. Charlie, I don't know where the Nevada Gaming Board gets their numbers. You got all sorts of people throwing out 15% hold. Trust me, if you had myself, which you guys gratefully have me on every week for the real updates, or if you had Chris Andrews, we didn't hold no 15%. So, Charlie, wipe that right out of your mind. I mean, I understand Pennsylvania is definitely the Eagle country or
right,
or whoever their representative is. But us at Rampart and South Point, we did not hold 15.6%. I will say, though, Rampart and South Point handle exceeded last year, which is huge because the game was here last year. So we're doing our job getting people through the door, taking the big bets. Maybe we have the sharper consumers at my shop and at Chris's shop, but we did not hold 15%. So we won. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it wasn't a bad Super Bowl, but it wasn't this overwhelming win that everybody perceived. And, that's all I'm trying to get across is that, we did hear something about 14.6%, but that wasn't happening.
Yeah, the Colucci, the numbers he's talking about, Nevada's report, and 14.6% holds, so roughly, rounded off 15%, and $22 million profit. Whatever. We had some local shops over here. It was actually in the low 20s, but they had a big rush of Kansas City people. I think, you guys are definitely more of a locals, more of a, it's certainly an experience better was going to put a sizable wager on it. It's going to go 5% as opposed to go pay for parking and pay you 10%. It's more of a hassle to go on a strip or something like that, right, Dwayne? So, I mean, I think it's more of a testament. You do have some variance in the different, minus the local appeal. Like in Philadelphia, the Eagles fans are all betting their team. But even in Las Vegas, sometimes people will report a loss, a big win, a mild win, and things like that. I just think you got more of the seasoned veterans, the local veterans, and it would seem to be more of the experienced bettors were betting Philadelphia, and the more recreational bettors were telling Kansas City. I know on the Gulf Coast, all of the small bets were on Kansas City, and all the bigger bets were on Philadelphia.
True, and if you do have one whale that does place their wager in Nevada at one of these major corporation properties, then you do have it sway the total, percentage, the win percentage and the hold percentage. So if you have a whale come in and he loses a $5 million wager out of that $22 million, it's going to make your property look stellar. And we only 26%.
Right.
Now across the United States, you have so many options of where to place these wagers. It definitely moves the measuring stick because you have so many now new consumers and millionaires out there that are trying to wager and make money off of these football games or these basketball games. So, it's definitely the demographic has changed. Hold percentages you're going to see fluctuate. You're going to see handle fluctuate. And that's the way it is now, just because you have nearly 40 states that are booking action on sporting events now in the United States. So, definitely Rampart and South Point, we got the free parking. We have the locals, the people that hang their hats here. And, with Chris, Jimmy, Vinny, myself promoting, we definitely cater. We're not looking to turn away bets. That's the whole thing.
Right.
So if you do have one of these professional handicappers, we're going to, give them our limit. Our limits may be a little smaller than a major corporation, but, just remember where Mattress Mac started making his wagers. That was at the South Point. And then he just elevated his level and his bankroll to where dealing with the major corporations could be a little easier for him. So I fully understand, but we definitely do not turn away guys unless they're, just totally trying and backdoor us or do something silly or pass post or anything like that.
Did you have a popular prop that stuck out more than any, or a couple of them?
Well, I took some big wagers on the no safety, the no overtime, and those all played out basically. The tush push was definitely going to be prominent when you're dealing with scoring first touchdown and what have you. The under rushing 1.5 yards for that first touchdown. Then a lot of people who did bet Philadelphia were betting anti-Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, which worked out very good. So there were so many different props, Jimmy. We did well on the props, but we did get hurt on a couple of them. And, future wagers, my shop had quite a bit of future money on the Eagles. Thing that would totally turn the Super Bowl outcome. But, yeah, we did have some Philadelphia wagers as they started to gel, and you started to get a sense that they were going to win that and gain control of home field. So,
what price were the Eagles to win the Super Bowl before the season started?
All that money coming in and the popularity factor.
Dwayne, do you remember what was the average odds on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl? Because remember, they came off of that disappointing loss at the end. They were terrible at the end. They got killed by Tampa Bay in the wild card round. What was about 18-1 maybe?
Yeah, that was the opener, Jimmy. But
Okay.
then it got totally bet down by, I would say by October, it was down to 10-1, and then it fell even further. So when you're putting out an 18-1 liability and the sharps jump on that, and we have sharp consumers, he had to ramp up South Point. Like I said, you're going to take a little hit on that, and then the odds started to rein in as they were established. And, we keep the odds up the full season, adjusting them week by week. So naturally, as the money started to come in, we had to make the adjustments, similar to the NBA where you see Luka going to the Lakers. You got to make adjustments there. You have to make adjustments with Jimmy Butler moving, from Miami elsewhere. So these become very important to gauge your eye on not only the trades but the success of the team. And when you started to see how bad the Giants and Cowboys were, and then basically 3-4 teams, it becomes where we have adjustments sustain the liability.
So the Saints are announcing their new coach right now. It's the initial press conference, the introductory press conference, announcing Kellen Moore as the new coach. He'll be the youngest coach in the league right now. It's not the youngest hire ever, but Charlie and I talking about, if he says anything about Derek Carr. If they say they're going to move on Derek Carr today, how much would that move the Saints' odds to win the Super Bowl, huh, Kaluch?
Well, Derek Carr is definitely, he's an established quarterback, but let's keep in mind now, he's this or actually defeated or in a straight-up matchup and destroyed them badly. So, Kellen Moore's got that in his head when he's slinging touchdowns for Boise, and Carr was getting blown out. I think he held him under 200 yards passing. Kellen Moore's going to pull the trigger and definitely look for a younger quarterback.
Kaluch, the $1 million question is the $1 million question is
definitely
how much is an autographed Derek Carr Saints jersey worth? Huh?
I don't know. You live down there. You guys would have sold them for $1 million after that Cowboys fallout, right?
Charlie,
Jimmy won one at the Super Bowl party we were at. Could barely contain.
Go to a different avenue or what?
He could barely contain his excitement. He tried to put it up on the blackjack table. They wouldn't let him. He wouldn't. This was what they said about him. Kellen Moore just a minute ago said, Derek Carr is a tremendous quarterback in this league. Excited to team up with him and go through the process with him. Jimmy, you pretty much, that's the opening press conference.
He's happy to be here.
Salvo to, hey, we'll deal with that at a later date.
And then a week later, they're going to announce they released him or, trade him, cut him, whatever. I mean, whatever they can get for him. But yes, so Kalucha, we're during the timeouts, we're at the VIP party at this nice Biloxi resort, and they say, they're giving out raffles, and they announce my name. Oh, bam, bam, bam. They say, this is what you won. I'm like, Is these the only numbers y'all got?
At least you won. At least you were lucky enough to win. Put it that way.
He felt very fortunate.
I
to
put
win,
it
too.
right on and wore it proudly,
What
baby.
you think you were getting? What you think you were getting? The Jaden Daniels signed jersey? Calm down. Now that thing's worth a little money, right, boys?
That would be worth plenty of money right now.
Yes, I would.
And appreciating.
Oh, but man, I mean,
right, Charlie? It's gaining momentum as we speak.
oh, all right, hockey. Who we got tonight, buddy?
We got the four, the nation's four. So, I'm definitely going to give you the underdog in this because USA is looking like they're, minus 270, I believe, at the Rampart South Point. I'm pulling that up right now. I didn't expect you guys to ask me about that. But, yeah, I would definitely take Finland tonight. That's my opinion on this big matchup. It was fabulous last night. I mean, Sweden and Canada, they went to the brink at the Bell Center. So definitely, we're looking at South Point and Rampart minus 360 on the USA. So I'm going to take Finland in this matchup. We know these are superstar rosters, and this is basically all-star matchup. So there is no slight here. I can't understand why a line would be this high in this particular matchup because it is like an all-star team scenario. So Finland could definitely compete. I'll take the plus in this matchup without a doubt.
Up to plus 295 over here at our local shop at the Queen. So 375 minus USA. Sweden and Finland minus 175 plus 145 to Sweden, and in Canada, US on Saturday night primetime, basically a pick 'em. Any thoughts there?
I want to see how U.S. comes out of the game, but Canada looked a little flat, but they were still able to get the job done. Sidney Crosby looked fabulous last night. And naturally, the Vegas Golden Knights, Shea Theodore, who somebody got hurt in that game. I hope this injury isn't too serious, but when you play these all-star games that you're playing, country against country, these guys get a little physical. This isn't just like a base NHL score, a skills, competition, what have you. So I definitely think that, Canada has to elevate their level, but we'll see how the U.S. comes out tonight. That's an important game and definitely a measuring stick because if the U.S. loses, I definitely would love Canada in that matchup.
Charlie's,
and, as long as it's in the Bell Center, that definitely favors because, the Montreal fans are just so rabid, guys.
Is this the answer for the NBA All-Star game, America versus the world?
They've tried everything else.
I mean, this has a little bit more juice, huh? This is closer to an actual game competition, right, Dwayne, than the 11-10, All-Star games, huh, in hockey? Would you say?
Yes, I believe so, and I think that guys like Austin Matthews tonight, they're going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. They want to represent the United States. It's more of an Olympic atmosphere than just winning an all-star game for a little money. So, I like the spin that Batman put on this. I definitely think it's a very the international flavor puts the great spin on it. Now, talking about the NBA, I mean, really, how do you do it? That's the whole thing. You have representatives in the NHL from all countries, whether it's Finland, USA, Canada. You could even probably got a Russian team together if you involve the KHL in this thing. So, it's definitely a different scenario. The NBA is looking to find themselves. They're looking for possible rule changes and stuff like that to fluff up their, their market because it's just, scoring now is just boring. Watching guys just throw in 48-footers from all angles with no defense, it's starting to get a little stale. It was much more exciting when you had Lambeer and Robert Parrish punching each other in the face. And, the Knicks and East, that Van Gundy grabbing onto Mourning's ankle. So,
all right, Dwayne.
NHL has got a good product.
We're up against the clock here, but look, Valentine's Day, here we go. Okay. Do you take her out to a nice Italian restaurant? Do you cook yourself, a good Italian dish? Or you get mom to cook a dish and you sneak it like you can't stash it away and pretend it's yours, huh?
You buy a dozen roses, take her out to eat, be done with it. That's it. Definitely, guys. Buy a nice dozen roses. Make sure that they're from a reputable florist. Get them delivered to her, and then you take her out. You don't want mom.
So you don't pick up the flowers from the grocery store with your milk and bread, huh? No.
Let me tell you something. They had a spread at Albertsons yesterday. I couldn't believe the flowers and the candy they had, guys. So I couldn't believe it. I'll be honest with you.
Love tips with Dwayne Colucci. Move over, Sewer Rat.
No grocery store roses.
Yeah.
I don't know. He said Albertson's not bad.
Get a candy from him.
I was in Rouse's last night.
Yeah?
Through the rain.
Okay.
And there were flowers everywhere. Flowers and king cakes.
Don't run out. Not this
We got
week.
king cakes coming from Town Square today. Town Square. We need to get your own king cake. The Colucci king cake from Town Square. Huh? Town Square.
I like it. It's got a ring to it.
Yes,
It's got a ring to it.
yes. All right, Colucci, you're the best, buddy. We had to get you a proper opening with the lady on Valentine's Day Eve. Love is in the air. We love you, Colucci. Thank you, brother.
Love you guys. Thank you so much for all you do, and happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks a lot. Live here at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
If you liked Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar before, you will love the all-new updated Jolie Pearl in downtown Baton Rouge. Jolie Pearl is the place for the true oyster connoisseur, featuring a brand new extended menu. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar features oysters from all over the world, served up grilled, baked, and raw. Stop by for lunch, dinner, or before any event downtown or at the River Center. Jolie Pearl. Upscale oysters in a New Orleans-style atmosphere, North Boulevard in the heart of downtown, or online at joliepearloysterbar.com.
Electricians, want competitive pay and a family-owned company that values you? Boudreaux's Electrical Services is hiring. Power Louisiana homes with Generac home standby generators. Call 225-300-9389 or apply at boudreauxelectrical.com.
Craving crawfish? Head on over to Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland. Every Friday night, enjoy Chris's mouth-watering boiled crawfish. Dine in or take out. Fresh, spicy, and delicious. Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland, your Friday night crawfish destination.
Value is all day, every day at P.F. Chang's Bar and Patio with a special drink and appetizer menu starting at just $5. Daily lunch specials start at $12.75, including an entree, base, and a side. Come visit us today in Town Center. P.F. Chang's, look for the Golden Horse.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. Now is the time to get your AC cleaned and checked before those sweltering temperatures arrive. Ensure your unit is performing at max efficiency, lower your monthly bills, and prolong the life of your central air conditioner. Right now, mention my name or Jimmy Ott and get $100 off that service. Down from $179 to $79. Call Total Maintenance for generators, electricity, and plumbing issues. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000, and in New Orleans, call 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
You've heard me talk about GiveMeTheVIN.com for years, but wait till you hear what our customer said about GiveMeTheVIN.com buyer Mike.
Excellent experience with the company. Mike was my point man, and he made everything as smooth as possible. Even though I hit a few snags on my end, he was patient, and we made a deal. It was hassle-free, and I would not hesitate to sell another car to GiveMeTheVIN.com again.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross-Ted, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross-Ted exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
Get more of what you're looking for at L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge. More variety with quick bites to fine dining, plus specials every day. More big screens and big games at our all-new ESPN Bet Sportsbook. More of the most popular slots and more ways to play tables with $10 bets up to high-limit games. And more ways to stay and play at the best casino hotel in Baton Rouge. Plus, join and play up to $500 on us. Make more memories with the area's favorite casino, L'Auberge Baton Rouge. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Jake and James of Trash Rangers. How does $13.95 a month for residential trash pickup sound to you? Go to trashrangers.com for all the info and make the switch today. That's trashrangers.com.
Buying or selling a home in Baton Rouge, Mid-City Title makes closing easy. Mobile closings, expert services, midcitytitle.com.
Live at lunch. Lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
You know, if you did do that USA against the world thing in the All-Star game, the world might actually be favored. If you put together a team with Giannis, Joker, Luka, SGA is Canadian, and so is Jamal Murray. He had a double nickel last night, or 50. I think
career high.
That's a pretty good place to start. Victor Wembanyama. That would, I mean, if you think about it, the world would be pretty doggone.
Where's Porzingis go?
Oh, he played for the. I guess he's a natural. Kind of like Embiid. You know, Embiid had his choice of who he could play for in the
really?
in the Olympics. But let's go ahead and consider him on.
You have basically the Olympic team against this. You know, the U.S. would be deeper, but I mean, it would be close.
Oh yeah, you'd have
the
Durant,
rosters
Curry,
would be.
James and
You can that part of it is it. I mean, compared to all this other stuff they do, they might actually have a little pride.
You might get might get them a little excited and put some money on the table. They respond to that. They certainly did in the midseason tournament. Hour number 2 straight ahead from the original Walk-Ons, Burbank and Nicholson, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozie's Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozie Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Do you wake up with back pain? Does your neck hurt while working at your desk? Have headaches? Or maybe your shoulder hurts while lifting? Or your knee hurts when you run? Hi, I'm Robbie Bolton, owner of Evolve Physical Therapy and Sports. And my team fixes these types of issues every day. We use our hands to manipulate and stretch you back to a pain-free lifestyle. Come in for a free assessment today and see how we are changing the way therapy is done in Baton Rouge.
Are you looking for the perfect ride for your next getaway? Rent a car for the week at All-Star Toyota and only pay for 6 days. You get 7 days of adventure for the price of just 6. So whether you're headed out on a road trip, you need a vehicle for the week, or just want something new to drive, we've got you covered.
At All-Star Toyota, we offer a wide selection of Toyota vehicles ready to hit the road when you are. Conveniently located at Airline and Goodwood in Baton Rouge. Visit us today or check out our website at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com for more details.
All-Star Toyota, people you know, cars you trust.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Feeling off your game? Low T might be the culprit. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has your back. Revitalize your energy and your mood. Let Goodwood help you get back to peak performance. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Louisiana's big weather can mean big damage to your roof. Our team offers free inspections and guarantees your satisfaction. Call 756-8603 or visit riceandroofing.com.
Just to be on the safe side.
Associated Grocers is hiring. Join one of the top 10 privately owned companies in Baton Rouge. With 75 years of success, Associated Grocers offers competitive compensation and benefits, a positive team environment, and great opportunities for career growth. Now hiring warehouse positions, including order selectors, forklift operators, inventory accuracy specialists and receivers, and facility maintenance. Paid weekly plus potential overtime. Join the job fair Saturday, February 15th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Visit agbr.com. Click on Now Hiring and love where you work.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, downtown facing Town Square. At Jolie Pearl, we're pretty shucking good. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozie Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street to now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Recall alert? Due for an oil change? Brakes louder than the kids in the back? Bayou Ford can get you in for service today. You don't have to wait. Same day service. Schedule now at BayouFord.com. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
The original walk-ons tomorrow again. LSU opening day in baseball at 2:00 tomorrow. So, and then at number 1 versus number 2 gymnastics. Make you a little stop on your way over to campus this weekend. Valentine's Day as well for opening day for LSU baseball. Let's go to Las Vegas. Matt Humans joins us right now. Matt, first of all, congratulations on your Eagles' future, man. Nice ticket.
It's not too often in the NFL that you have a rocking chair type of game, right? No sweat with the Eagles. It certainly didn't think it was going to be that easy. I don't know about you guys, but you could tell by the middle of the second quarter it was not going to be much of a game, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And we talked about it, how I had some Eagles, and I'm looking to maybe middle with Kansas City if they got a lead. They did. But then, Matt, later, I bet the Eagles twice in game. It was 10-0. I laid 3.5. It was 17-0. I laid 10.5. I just didn't see. All they did was rush 4, and and Kansas City couldn't get a first down. So, and I thought that the odds makers were a little stubborn with that in-game line, and maybe because they usually get the team that's behind, and we're just waiting for Kansas City to just turn it on. But that offensive line wasn't going to turn it on against that front four.
No, I think typically when you're, the live betting, a lot of times people are looking to get the, like you said, the same thing with the NBA or college hoops sometimes, trying to take a fat number with the team that falls behind.
Right.
And I saw the same thing on there with the Chiefs. I thought that live number was a little bit low, but that was also a reflection of, hey, the Chiefs have been pretty good about coming back from 10-point deficits in the Super Bowl. And you got to think as a bookmaker, you're going to anticipate some KC action, even when the Chiefs fell behind. Maybe adjusted a little bit from what the math model was showing. But, here's a legit question. I'm not sure some people scoff at it. Others take it seriously. Is Andy Reid somewhat overrated as a coach? This is 5 Super Bowls Kansas City has been in. Chiefs have trailed by 10 points or more in all 5 games. And they won 3 of them, mostly because Patrick Mahomes has been great in making plays and bringing the team back. But I tell you what, in the 2 losses, he has been woefully unprepared. The loss to the Buccaneers and this one to the Eagles. And Andy Reid had no plan offensively for what the defensive front was going to do against his offense in those 2 Super Bowl losses.
But they got beat so badly. Now, the first one was because Kansas City, they had lost both tackles, in the conference championship game, but they were hurt. They were injured. Here, they had to try and slide a guy that played for Belichick forever as a guard, and they're giving him a lot of credit. I listened to Belichick and Reed on their podcast in between the conference championship and the Super Bowl, and how he talked about they gave him so much credit for just kind of being overachiever. The Eagles' defensive front, formula. I don't know about because those two. I don't think those 2 games are the best because Matt, when you're getting beat like that, man, that's more of a college type of result. When a team just controls the line of scrimmage like that. And I mean, I certainly don't ding Mahomes any for running for his life in the Tampa Bay Super Bowl, or this one. The two picks were bad, but it was just a matter of time. I mean, he can't just punt, but I don't know. He's done some things before where I've kind of questioned a little bit. I think his play design are pretty creative. You can do it when you have a guy like Mahomes, but I don't know. Not in these two cases.
And I'm more of a, you look at the whole thing with Andy Reid. Had there been some missteps in the big game? Sure. And I can think of some he did with Philadelphia too. But the guy's been to 11 championship games, conference championship games plus a Super Bowl. So
and McNabb was inconsistent.
I mean, that's really, really hard to do. So I don't know about overrated. Missteps in the big game, sure, I can get with that.
Now, I'll give you one thing, Matt. In this particular matchup, it did seem like his first look, he had time. If you look at most of the sacks and the pressures, when he set up, if he did like a 3-step drop and let it go, it's hard to say without looking at the all 22 view of the game. But it appeared that the Eagles are taking away that underneath stuff.
Yeah, that's more of a question for those ESPN and Fox hot take talk shows about Andy Reid. I think it's it's something some people might want to debate. I think Andy Reid's a hell of a coach, one of the best head coaches in NFL history. But I'm disturbed at how unprepared his offenses were in those 2 Super Bowl losses, and also just the trail by 10 points or more in all 5 Super Bowls. I think maybe we overrate his game preparation sometimes, because I tell you, in the first half, the Chiefs looked. I said, what were the Chiefs doing the last 2 weeks? Because it looked like they were going out to steakhouses and partying and not watching film and preparing for this game. Did the Chiefs do anything in the first half of that game that made you think, wow, they're really prepared for this game? No, not at all. I was shocked at how unprepared the Chiefs were.
Well,
and like you said, Patrick Mahomes had 42 dropbacks in the game, never got blitzed, and he was under pressure the entire game. Did Reid not anticipate this? And he didn't make any adjustments either. So I thought that was disturbing from the KC perspective. On the flip side, I got to give Philadelphia all the credit possible. Vic Fangio had his defense well prepared. And, when you talk about evaluating teams, let's say talk from a sports betting perspective, when you're evaluating teams in the offseason and you're looking for who do I want to bet in futures? Well, pay attention to the coaching changes. The coordinators, a lot of times, more important than the head coach, obviously. And the Eagles signed Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore last year, and I really like those 2 additions to the coaching staff, because don't forget that Philadelphia defense is ranked near the bottom of the league the previous year in 2023. And I thought Vic Fangio was going to fix that. I didn't know he would fix it to the tune of, a top 2 defense in the NFL, but he did. Then you got Saquon Barkley, comes over from the Giants. And that was a big-time addition. And I also loved what the Eagles did in the draft. Howie Roseman, once again, I thought made some great moves in the draft. And that's when, I think right after the draft, the first day after the draft is when I bet the Eagles to win the NFC East. And I started making Eagles futures bets. So I said, I really love the way this team's coming together. And that's the type of stuff. Somebody was asking me about next year's NFL futures right after the Super Bowl. I said, it's too early really to jump in on stuff like that. Maybe if you're going to look at it now, you're going to look at some teams in the middle of the pack, maybe Bengals, Commanders, some teams like that where you can get around 20 to 1 odds. Otherwise, I just evaluate what these teams are doing in the offseason, and you might see something around the draft or in the next couple months you really like. But I didn't jump in on any Super Bowl futures right after this game. But I was getting a lot of questions about it, and I was just like, evaluate what these teams do in the offseason, and you're gonna see something.
When did you
kind of like we saw with the Eagles, in the first couple months after last season.
When did you place that bet on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl? What part in their season?
First day after the NFL draft last year. Actually, I bet the Eagles. I bet the Eagles win the NFC East. I bet the Eagles over the win total. Bet them to win the NFC, and I made the Super Bowl bet later in a couple months later. But all those, I made my first wave of Philadelphia Eagles futures bets right after the draft because I love their draft and I love their off season. it doesn't always come together that way. I also made a futures bet in August on the Jets to win the Super Bowl at 30-1. How'd that work out? Those are the only two Super Bowl futures I made were the Eagles and the Jets, and that Jets bet was a dead one.
If you really want to get shook up about the Eagles, try this on for size. If they really wanted to, they could trade for Myles Garrett. They've got enough money. They've got about 3/4 of that defense on rookie deals, and they've got enough draft capital. If they wanted to, they could trade for Myles Garrett.
Jalen Carter and Myles Garrett.
Try to block that.
Jeez.
You know what? That's actually that's a proactive move too. If you do something like that to get Myles Garrett, because you got to know the teams like the Lions and the Buffalo Bills have got to be making a strong push for Myles Garrett,
especially the Lions in your same conference for sure. You know they got all the pieces offensively, and the Lions. Midway through the season, I thought they were the best team in the league. Before they just had a ton, and that's the other thing. Eagles got a little luck as far as the health. They didn't have I don't think Nakobe Dean, but that was about it. They were pretty damn healthy for this. Matt, the Super Bowl reminded me of another one, and we're talking about with the Kansas City, and you're talking about their offensive approach. I think they conceded they couldn't run the ball against the Eagles. And threw the ball 16 of 17 first snaps. It reminded me of the Giants-Ravens Super Bowl. Ron Dane was such a big part of what they were doing that year. And it trounced to Minnesota, and they didn't run him one time against the Ravens in that Super Bowl. They just conceded. I just kind of got that same feeling because, man, when you got a pass rush, you got to run some screens, some draws into some balance to try and offset that rush when you get no time to protect. So,
well, that's part of what I'm saying. I thought the Chiefs were unprepared. I didn't see Reed make any adjustments. I didn't think he had a good game plan. And Mahomes didn't play well on top of all that. And, some of these, if you go back and watch the tape, Travis Kelce had a terrible game. Terrible in pass protection, terrible in effort. Boy, there was a lot of things that jumped out on the Kansas City side. It's pretty embarrassing.
But one thing that I was wrong on, I said I don't want to hear about regular season references to handicapping the Chiefs because I thought they kind of coasted. And we see that like in some other teams. And let's get into the playoffs and we'll get there. But looking back, shouldn't a lot of the struggles and struggling with somebody, what Super Bowl champion had so many close calls, as this team did, and flat out lucky. And some calls, we're talking about calls, the official calls played a role in it as well. So, you look back, maybe the warning signs were all there for us.
That's a great point you make, and I think that's something that needs to be talked about a little bit more too, because I think too many people assumed that the Chiefs were just going to flip the switch, and they were coasting through the regular season. All they care about is playoffs. When they get to the playoffs, everything's going to be fine. That's what they've been focused on the whole time. And a lot of people bought into that. But that really wasn't the case. I just think this team wasn't that great and was a little bit overhyped and obviously inflated in the betting market, right? Because the Chiefs weren't covering a lot of those numbers. They were skating by. Think about all three AFC West games that were played in Kansas City. The Chiefs beat the Broncos by 2. They needed a lucky blocked field goal at the end on a 35-yarder, I think. Would have been basically a chip shot for the Broncos to win the game. They beat the Raiders when the Raiders screwed up to the snap and won that game by 2. Raiders should have won that game. And then the last one against the Chargers, the Chiefs also won by 2 when the Chargers' game-winning field goal attempt hit the upright and bounced away. All three AFC West home games, the Chiefs won by 2 points, and they should have lost all 3 of them. And then the other points you said about the officials, I thought there were 2, maybe 3 games you could say that there were huge calls made in the Chiefs' favor that allowed them to win the game when they should have lost it. So if you really want to look at it, this is a team that could have lost easily could have lost 6 or 7 games, right?
Yeah. Don't forget the toenail in the opener. Yeah. Baltimore lost that one by a toenail.
And Charlie, his shoe, you couldn't see his toenail, Charlie.
the top of his shoe where his toenail resided.
Hey, Matt, and the other thing as we move on, but you remember, I think it was the Chiefs' first Super Bowl, those playoffs. You want to talk about falling behind. They fell behind Tennessee in the conference championship game by double digits. Fell behind Houston 17-0. in that divisional round before they flipped it around. Now with Deshaun Watson was playing for the Texans. With Torrey Pines, we've hung out, in Del Mar before with Torrey Pines. I'm more interested in what's going on across the street at UCSD. What is happening with this basketball team? You're more dialed into basketball on the West Coast than us, man. How good is this team?
It's interesting because you're talking about Torrey Pines golf, first of all, and if you're betting the golf, I think there's rain and a little bit of wind at Torrey Pines today. They're playing preferred lies. You don't see a rain out there too often, but if you're handicapping that event, you definitely got to look at the guys who are long off the tee because that's a long golf course. That's a monster course. And in wet conditions, it's going to play even longer. And that's why I did play Rory McIlroy future at about 8-1 at Circa and bet him in top 5 too, because I think this course, especially with the weather, is going to set up for big hitters. And by the way, I'm looking out the window. Believe it or not, we've got the first measurable rainfall in Las Vegas in 215 days today.
What?
So getting a little bit of wet weather on the West Coast. As far as UC San Diego, I would say I think the best team in the Big West. Now, if you look at the standings right now, I'm going to double check. I think USD and Cal Irvine are tied at the top of the Big West.
Yeah, they split this year.
Those teams just played. What's that?
Yeah, they split this year, but UCSD got that big win, double digits on the road to even it up.
Well, they just beat them last week by beat them by 17.
Yeah,
18. Beat them by 18 at Irvine last week, 85-67, and they've won 5 in a row. I think when I started to realize, hey, UC San Diego might be pretty good is when the Tritons went to Utah State, one of the toughest places on the West Coast to win. That was in the middle of December. Went to Utah State and won 75-73, and I was like, hold on. Maybe this team is going to be legit because now it's hard to go to Utah State and pull an upset, and UC San Diego did it. It's interesting because I had a friend who's really into sports and everything in general. He could not figure out the difference between UC San Diego and San Diego. He thought it was the same. He thought it was the same program. He's like, "What is this?" I said, "Okay, UC San Diego Tritons used to be a Division II team. Now they're in the Big West, right? The San Diego Toreros are a Catholic school downtown San Diego. It's in the West Coast Conference with Gonzaga. So a lot of people actually get that confused. And I understand if you don't know the geography of San Diego and you don't know those schools that well, I think it could be pretty easy to get confused, right?
I guess. But I mean, I never, a Torero is not the son of Poseidon, okay? The Triton is a god of the sea, Charlie. You know that, Poseidon's kid.
Yeah, the trident is what is just the weapon, right? It's the 3-pronged thing.
But I mean, I've driven by that so many times because, taking some people, on a little kind of down the coast tour, going down from Torrey Pines to, Pacific Beach to, all the way down to, Hotel Del, in Coronado, just say, I've driven that thing so many times, man. But I mean, didn't they have that tournament where Ole Miss? Is that where Ole Miss played this year, Matt? Didn't they play at UCSD?
Yeah, they did. They played that at UCSD is, like you said, right across the street from Torrey Pines, basically golf course.
Yeah,
and they played that Rady Children's Hospital Invitational, where I think Purdue beat Ole Miss 80-78 the championship game. That's where they played that this year. That Ole Miss team barely survived last night in the road at South Carolina, by the way. I took South Carolina +5, and that was a crazy ending to that game last night. But, it's still – you're talking about an Ole Miss team that's, by the way, 7th maybe in the SEC? It wouldn't surprise anybody if it's an Elite 8 team, right? I think Chris Beard's got a tough situation there. There's a lot of – SEC opponent's going to be more talented than Ole Miss, but he's a better coach than a lot of the guys he's going up against. But, man, you just continue to get impressed by the depth of quality teams in the SEC this year in terms of basketball. You could have a team that's seeded 7th or 8th in the SEC tournament that's going to be like a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament.
We were talking about it. What year was it, Trent Johnson? here? 09. So, Matt, LSU won the SEC by multiple games. 8 seed. Things have changed a little bit. Things have changed. That's the year they beat Butler in the first round and then lost in North Carolina to Carolina, who blitzed everybody. They actually gave them a good game. They were tied with 10 minutes to go. But, no, won the league by multiple games, 8 seed. That's
10 years ago, 3 teams got in the tournament. 3.
And Matt, just follow the money. I mean, kind of it's – the athletic budgets, the richer athletic budgets. I mean, the ACC just didn't get bad all of a sudden. And, in the SEC, all these other teams. But another league to watch they think is vulnerable, and some coaches are kind of peeking to see if they would go. And this kind of upsets me a little bit because I love watching games in this league is the Big East, because so many of those schools don't have any football revenue. And so it'll be interesting to see if some of those coaches are looking to get out there as well.
Well, let me ask you guys quickly. Chris Andrews at the South Point Sportsbook put up a prop. He put it up on January 27th. NCAA champion. I think we might have talked about this a little bit on your show before, but NCAA champion, SEC against the field.
Yeah.
All SEC teams against the field. He opened the SEC. No, he opened the field minus 160.
Ooh.
And it's been bet to a pick'em right now.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. That's I think it should. I think pick'em is fair. I would put the SEC minus a little money, just barely, roughly a pick, but no 160. I mean, no, you didn't tell me about 160, Matt. I would have been on that.
I'd take the league.
Yeah,
I'd take the league.
Matt, great stuff as always, man. One more thing? Is Wes Reynolds going to be active again on Twitter or X?
You'll have to ask Elon Musk. I know you have Elon on your show every other week, but
he's busy right now.
Wes is. I know what he's doing. I've seen it. Some of it's pretty funny, by the way. But Wes's Twitter account got hacked, and I've been told that maybe Wes clicked on a couple of questionable links to get his Twitter account hacked. I guess that's how that works. But his Twitter account got hacked, and he can't get it back. And he says he emails the Twitter customer support every day and never gets an answer. So I don't know if he's going to be back on Twitter.
He said he emails him twice daily. Thank you, Matt. Great stuff. Talk to you next week. All right. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows. Yes, indeed. Relief Windows, doors, siding, shutters. Does your homeowners association require wood windows? Mine does. So when the original windows in my home, they were failing because of the extreme Louisiana weather conditions, I called the best, and I got the gelled windows from Relief Windows. These windows combine the beauty of real wood with high-tech energy efficiency for all climate zones, especially in South Louisiana, from the desert heat to the snow. Our Last Wood gelled windows come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rot, termites, providing years of beauty and minimal maintenance. The other thing I like about them, too, is they're functional, man. We do have a great day. I can open them up and enjoy the open air while watching the stuff in my media room. Love my Relief Windows, my wood windows, my gelled windows that are highly functional, look great as well. Call them at 230-5652 or check out online, reliefwindows.com.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
As we all live longer, age is really just a number, but retirement is so much more than one. Edward Jones Financial Advisors want to know what you want out of your retirement so we can help you get there. Together, we can look at the big picture and make a strategy to help you reach your goals. Because you can't prepare for the unexpected if you don't know where you're headed. Call your local Edward Jones office to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
In Denham Springs, call Sims White. And in Donaldsonville, call Matt LeBlanc.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me talk about that patented non-toxic dry fog treatment to sanitize, kill mold, remove odor, and other harmful pathogens. Well, they've merged to create Parish Restoration. Learn more at parishbuilt.com. That's parishbuilt.com and hit the restoration tab. Parish Restoration has knocked out mold in buildings as small as your home up to one of the largest commercial buildings in the entire state of Louisiana. Servicing all of Louisiana, visit parishbuilt.com. That's parishbuilt.com.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
I took control.
I took control. We took control.
This is Chris Medine with Medine's Collision Center. Auto accidents can be overwhelming. Crucial decisions are made instantly, like where to take your car for body repair.
But doesn't my insurance company recommend a collision shop?
It's your right to choose a collision center. Don't let anyone push you around.
Medine's not only repaired my car, but restored my confidence.
Log on to MedineCollision.com and read our latest blog. We are your accident advisors. And remember,
take control. Choose Medine's.
Check engine light, weird clink, truck giving you a shake? Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in for service today. You don't have to wait. Same day service. Schedule now at BayouCDJR.com. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Feeling off your game? Low T might be the culprit. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has your back. Revitalize your energy and your mood. Let Goodwood help you get back to peak performance. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com.
Maybe you've heard that word of mouth is the best advertising.
At Guaranteed Media, we agree.
We have the biggest mouths in town.
4 local radio stations featuring influencers from Baton Rouge.
Local radio speaks to local people.
And our stations have the audience you need.
Our marketing executives will help you fine-tune your message to reach potential customers more effectively.
To learn more,
visit 1045ESPN.com and click Connect. That's 1045ESPN.com and click Connect. Keep your business looking pristine year-round with Cajun Soft Wash. Their gentle, effective soft washing cleans every surface safely, maintaining your property's value and appeal. Trusted in Baton Rouge for over 10 years. Visit CajunSoftWash.com today.
Jake and James of Trash Rangers. How does $13.95 a month for residential trash pickup sound to you? Go to TrashRangers.com for all the info and make the switch today. That's TrashRangers.com.
Closing on a home? Mid-City Title makes it super simple. Mobile closings, expert service. MidCityTitle.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Derek, the press conference introduced Kellen Moore is over. Gail Benson introduced Mickey Loomis. Loomis introduced Kellen Moore. Here's the highlights of it, and Moore did fine, by the way. The question on Derek Carr came twice. Both times, Kellen Moore gave him a nice compliment, but neither time would he commit to him as a starter. He called him a tremendous player he can't wait to work with, but adding he just got here, he has to know everybody on the roster. That's from Mike Triplett, New Orleans football. The question came in, is Derek Carr going to be your starting quarterback to open next season? And he was non-committal on that. Just to give you an idea, a few other things out of the press conference. As he said in Super Bowl week, he is going to call plays here. Talked about staff. They're 2 weeks away from the combine. He doesn't feel a huge sense of urgency to have the staff done by then, but they're going to go through the process of that. Had nice praise for Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara. And then he talked about some other things. The Saints were actually his first visit when he was going through the draft process coming out of Boise State. So he told a couple of stories about that. But the Derek Carr thing's the big deal. Non-committal there, and you certainly don't expect him.
Very PC,
yes,
and polite.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
You don't expect him to come out today and say, "No, we've decided to move on from Derek Carr." However, if he had decided Derek Carr was a starting quarterback, he might have given him a strong endorsement today, saying, "Derek's our starter. We expect him to be our star." You didn't get that today,
Charlie. He's got to evaluate. He just got done with the Super Bowl. He's got a lot of film to look at Derek
Yes.
Carr, right? I mean, would he not? Would he be looking at Derek Carr film when he's preparing for the Chiefs?
No, but
he has an idea.
Yeah,
he knows he's had a preliminary conversation, but he's got to truly evaluate. He's got to look at some film, man. Come on, I got to spend some time with him. Just spend some, hear some, talk to some of the teammates. I mean, a full evaluation. That just would be incomplete.
I think he'll do all of that for sure.
Sure, he is.
Of course, but I also think he's about 90% made up his mind that they're going to. That they're going to do what they're going to do. I don't think he would have come in.
You got 90% of your mind made up. You watch the games and say he's seen some games. Okay, you haven't broken down film and looked at. You hadn't interviewed. Talked to enough people. You got to do a full evaluation. He wants to be competitive.
Of course he does.
He wants to be competitive, but he also has to look in the best. He also probably will have a little bit of more of a leash, not lead, but more time than maybe usual, knowing the Saints. Loomis is higher. Does Loomis want this to work?
Yeah, of course he does.
Okay.
Of course he does.
Well, I mean,
here's where Kellen Moore's got to make a decision on something that he hasn't had to deal with before. He's got to do more than just look at film of Derek Carr. He's got to decide where Derek Carr fits in their salary structure, and if they keep Derek Carr, the rest of it
he can do on paper.
Yeah.
There are other things about, man, this guy really a crappy leader.
That's part of it. And if you're going to keep him, how do you fit him and still do all the other things you got to do?
His evaluation is not complete. And that's just, I think, one impression I get of Derek Carr, even though it's an incomplete of how just good he is, I think he's a professional. And I think he is not going to jump to conclusions before doing the proper evaluation. And he might find out that, man, they really like him. It's just, I don't know where that came from. No, man, this guy, I don't know, kind of lukewarm, talking to other players. He's got to get a little bit of a feel, man.
He does. And it's the first time in his life he'll have to make a decision based on something other than what gives him the best opportunity to win games next year.
But the commentary publicly is
he's
100% predictable.
He's fine today.
Yeah.
Fine today. The only thing I wanted to see was he going to give him, has he made up his mind that he's coming back yet? And the answer to that is no. That he's definitely going to be the starter.
What did I tell you? Take your Dramamine. You didn't know I was going to come with the Dramamine card.
No. Yeah, that was good.
Don't forget.
You just want that card jersey to appreciate and value.
Yes.
That's what you're after.
Do you not want your belongings to appreciate and value?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Don't hate on me. My Derek Carr autographed jersey.
I'm upset
that you didn't win.
I am. I'm upset they didn't pull my name.
Come on, man. Come on, be a team player. Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest air conditioning and heating companies. Now's the time. Got a little cold spell. Oh, we're not talking about the AC right now. What you going to do? Wait till it breaks down in the middle of summer because, oh, man, it's going to cost how much to repair this or replace this? Oh, man, I got to get off. This could be prevented with an AC check right now. Come in, we evaluate it, we clean it, so it's going to run more efficiently, lower monthly bills. Who doesn't want that? But also identify if a part's about to fail or something like this that's going to save you money later. And it's only $79 right now. Mention me or mention Charlie, mention Derek Carr, and it's just $79.
Good on you, Derek Carr jersey.
Normally $179. It's just $79. Pick up the phone 480-1000. 480-1000. Total Maintenance. Get those AC units looked at now before we really start stressing them.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust are back with another major sweepstakes in 2025. This time, we want to cover your car payments.
Sweet. That's awesome.
It's a $5,000 grand prize with a bonus chance to win free car washes from Benny's Car Wash for 6 months. We're also letting you earn extra entries by subscribing to our LouisianaSports.net daily newsletter. To sign up, visit 1045ESPN.com. From Citizens Bank, Benny's Car Wash, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You want your ride to shine? Swing by K-Falls Auto Detailing near Segan Lane in Baton Rouge. With 30 years experience, we've got the skills for top-notch detailing and ceramic coating. Find your package at kfalls.com. That's KFAULS.com. Let us handle the details.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill. Wesley, across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
WCK Foundation Repair, locally owned and operated, has been in business over 25 years. Engineers agree WCK uses the best repair method for Louisiana's unique soil conditions. Rely on WCK to provide a solid standard with friendly local professionals. Interest-free financing available. WCK Foundation Repair.
WCK Foundation Repair. WCK, a leader among peers. WCK.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Associated Grocers is hiring. Join one of the top 10 privately owned companies in Baton Rouge. With 75 years of success, Associated Grocers offers competitive compensation and benefits, a positive team environment, and great opportunities for career growth. Now hiring warehouse positions, including order selectors, forklift operators, inventory accuracy specialists, and receivers, and facility maintenance. Paid weekly plus potential overtime. Join the job fair Saturday, February 15th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Visit agbr.com. Click on Now Hiring and love where you work.
Need a lift in the bedroom? It's more common than you think. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness is here to help you rise again. With our expert care, you can regain your peak performance. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done. Car wrecks done. Personal injury done. Workers' comp done. Truck wrecks done. Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done.
Attorney Gordon McKerney, Baton Rouge, LA 22 13634.
Get Gordon.
Ben's on.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, let's go to Kenny White out in Las Vegas. Kenny, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Jimmy, throw me a life preserver. I'm drowning here. College baseball starts tomorrow. There's 1 million women's games today. It's crazy. I was just looking at my college baseball ratings to see who's the best teams in the country, and I have LSU number 2 right behind Texas A&M. I think a lot of people have that. But then I look, Southeastern Conference has 5 of the top 6 teams in the country. But the Atlantic Coast Conference has 7 teams in the top 14. So it's like ACC versus SEC in the College World Series this year.
Yeah, that's the way it seems. And look, my colleague, I'll give him all the credit in the world. He's the guy to go to on college baseball. Been the big thing with Texas A&M. Now look, this is the year where LSU won it 2 years ago, so you get all of that excitement. And when people get excited around here. They open their pocketbooks as far as the NIL, the player budget, whatever code you want to call it. But this is the year where they should reap the benefits with their roster, Charlie.
Yeah, it's a really good roster. I want to say something about Texas.
Well, Texas A&M, you lose a guy like Schlossnagle. How much did they lose along with him?
Not much. And
really?
that was the really surprising thing. I mean, like Jace Lavalette, okay, who's a consensus All-American. Everybody figured that he was going to leave when Schlossnagle did. He didn't. They really hustled.
Let me guess. They named an assistant to keep the players there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and Michael Early is he's been
the new coach at A&M.
Yeah, he's been there for 3 years with Schlossnagle. They kept everybody. I mean, there were multiple key transfer guys who were offered plenty money, I'm sure, to go somewhere else. Lavallette's the biggest name, but he's not the only one. And they kept them all.
What about Arkansas?
They were so offensively challenged last year, which is just so uncharacteristic of them. And they lost Peyton Stovall, but they're back. I would say offensively they'll be much better than they were a year ago, and another top 10, 12.
Who out the ACC?
I haven't done any ACC work
Okay.
yet. I'll be honest with you. Most of my stuff has been SEC, but I know North Carolina. I know most of what they're bringing back from the team that beat LA last year.
What's funny about the ACC, Kenny? They all of the metrics usually traditionally, I don't know, the last 25, 30 years or so, we cover college baseball. They're real close when they enter postseason play. The ACC is one. Virginia won.
Yeah, Virginia won and went to 2 finals.
Okay, and that's it? Or did North Carolina ever win one?
North Carolina's never won.
I think North Carolina did win one.
I think
they went to the finals.
No, I think they lost 2 years in a row to Oregon State, in the finals.
Yeah. They were in the finals 2 years in a row.
Yeah, so
they're back again though. I've got them the 9th best team in the country. They're really good. Virginia, I have the number 1 in the conference. Florida State, I have 2. North Carolina 3, and I think maybe I'm hoping I get some good odds on them is Duke. I think Duke's pitching staff is loaded. And you mentioned just LSU and Texas A&M. Looking at those 2 teams, they both are going to have 4 guys on their staff that are drafted in the 2025 Major League Draft. So those pitching staffs are loaded.
when we get to, because there are some Thursday SEC games. So when we get to conference play, Kenny, we can compare notes because we'll know the pitchers and things like that. Those sometimes they can flop and stuff like that, but a lot of times we those pitchers are determined. So yeah, we'll have some fun. Did you make any futures in college baseball?
Not yet, because I'm just kind of finishing up my work today. But I know Duke is going to be one team that I'd look at. There was somebody else.
Duke last year. I bet in the regional.
Loaded.
Didn't Duke win a regional?
I don't have any idea. Don't recall where they were.
Yeah,
I don't remember. They're a top 15 team.
Okay,
for sure this year.
I just rate out the players they got in front of them this year, and I do write down notes in my book and how they finished. But I haven't gotten to that yet. I'm more in the rating process of getting all the hitters and pitchers rated, and I've done it. The hitters are all rated. All I got to do is the pitchers now. But yeah, I would love to talk to Charlie, not just on a weekly basis. Charlie, we need to talk like every day or every other day, and I'll share with you what I'm doing, and you can give me some information on the SEC, because this is a very beatable sport, and I've done really well without the information. If I get information, forget about it.
I'm looking forward to the season starting, so it'll be a lot of fun. We'll tackle it together.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. They do have two games. Two top 10 matchups in women's basketball tonight. Texas off of their big win against South Carolina, where they're a slight 3.5-point underdog. Now they're 10.5 on the road against Kentucky. Kentucky lost at Oxford earlier this week, but 10.5 on the road in a top 10 matchup.
I'll get right into that before I forget. Well, I'm very excited about college baseball because I see the screens, the Spank-Out screen and the Don Best. I use them both. Have 14 games up for tomorrow, 14 on Saturday, and 14 on Sunday. So that's very exciting for college baseball bettors because that did not happen before. Last year, Don Best started putting up conference games in, I would have to say, maybe middle of March or beginning of April. So if they're starting to put them on the screen opening day, that is great for us baseball bettors. Texas win over South Carolina has got to be one of the biggest, in this century. The 50 and 59 game winning streak in conference play was broken, and Texas had to be celebrating for 3 days from that. I just can't see how they can be up for this game. They're a far better team, but I'm looking to take the points with Kentucky in this game. I'm still working on these games. I made Texas 6.5. I think you said something around double digits for Texas.
Yeah, 10.5.
Yeah, I'm taking 10.5 for Kentucky. And if I've never found anybody to put first halves up, but if I had a first half, I would definitely play Kentucky in the first half as well. I think they'll have the lead early. I'll jump in some in-game too right away, I'm sure. But I think Kentucky will get the lead early, so the in-game may be a little bit tough to bet. But, yeah, I'm playing Kentucky tonight. And I'm going to play South Carolina, laying the points with them. They can name the score. I saw it with Connecticut when Connecticut lost to Tennessee. Gino called out his top players. I think that's going to be the same thing here. Dawn Staley can't be happy about how they played against Texas. And I think that she's going to let them have it, and I think South Carolina will roll tonight and run up a big score against Florida.
All right. And what about UCLA, USC going cross town to downtown, closer downtown LA, and USC at home catching 1.5 against UCLA?
Yeah, there'll be as many UCLA fans in the building, so I don't give any home court. I think USC is I guess I have these teams rated pretty evenly. So no home court, but I got a revenge factor. USC beat UCLA in the conference tournament last year. So the last time they played, USC beat them. So I made UCLA 2, but I saw 1.5. There's not much there. I haven't worked on the total yet, but I got a feeling I may be under because this is just one of probably the biggest game in the history for these two women's programs.
That was that game is two of the top players in the country. Juju Watkins, I think everybody knows about, but Lauren Betts, a big center from UCLA. We got familiar with her. LSU beat them in the tournament last year. She's 6'7", 20-10. That's a terrific matchup, Jimmy. It's on Peacock. Sorry, but I'm anxious to see how that one turns out.
All right. Anything else in college basketball tonight you like, Kenny?
The women's. Let me see here. I had Florida State. I laid 7.5 with them against Louisville. And as I said, I'm like halfway through the schedule. I don't really see anything else but the numbers that are up on the board right now. But those are quite a few plays. I do really like Kentucky tonight and South Carolina. Those are two, I think, solid plays.
Going back to Duke in college baseball last year, the run that I remember them having, it was in the ACC tournament. They went 4-0. All 4 wins were against top 11 teams, including against number 5 Florida State in the final, 16-4. They lost their first game in the Norman, Oklahoma regional, put them in the behind the 8 ball, and then lost in the final 4-3 to Oklahoma.
We had a play on them to win that regional.
It's coming
back to me now.
I mean, they smashed. They smashed through the ACC tournament. Again, all 4 opponents were top 11 teams. Kenny, I thought with the life preserver, we threw it to you last week, man. We told you did that alternate line on Philadelphia minus the 8.5. Come on, man.
That's right. Well, the Super Bowl was very, very good. Wish they'd play again tomorrow because they're going to have a little more faith. But yeah, I did very, very well in the Super Bowl. As you've seen the props on the VIP club.
Yes.
I couldn't have been happier when Mahomes threw his first pick, and that was a big part of the game plan. I had a feeling that the Philadelphia front four, the pressure they could put on him, because of that KC line, it just wasn't up to task to defend a defensive line as good as Philly, and that was just a great win, I think, for a lot of us that were Philly backers like you guys were as well.
Yes, indeed. So that alternate line, I actually heard some. That's where I know friends over at Circa, they got hit a little bit on the alt lines about Philadelphia, whether it's 3.5, 5.5, 8.5, even 17.5. Some people took. So a little bit of a hit there. Kenny, tell them where to find all your stuff online and get part of that text change where you get all those picks conveniently.
Well, thank you, Charlie and Jimmy, for having me on the show. And anybody that's interested, KennyWhiteSports.com. The power ratings are the foundation, and it's a great product for a very inexpensive price for you. It gets you started. There's a ton of information. If you just want to look at my line and compare, you can do that, or you can use all the other information. But it's $25 a month. Or if you want to get in the VIP club, I've got 5 or 6 different handicappers for college basketball that put in plays every day, and you get those plays right on a Telegram app, and you get alerted when they come in, and it's been a great run from the beginning of January until now. So we hope to continue to stay hot.
Good luck, Kenny. Thank you, buddy. Great stuff as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Have a great weekend.
Don't forget our friends at Town Square Pizza doing the king cakes, the Colucci king cakes on their way. That's right. Colucci king cakes from Town Square Pizza. They're square shaped, just like everything they do over at Town Square Pizza. That great, fresh downtown pizza comes out piping hot. The trees dripping off when you pick it up. You talk about outstanding stuff. And now your favorite pizza, they're doing the king cakes as well. During the Mardi Gras season. Let me get it right, Charlie. Mardi Gras season, the king cakes over at Town Square Pizza.
Live at lunch from Walkons 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Are you a chronic interrupter? Incapable of letting other people talk? Do those people act?
Have you ready, Jordan?
It's rolling.
This is Charles Hannegriff. Join us for a special edition of Live at Lunch. We start at 10 a.m. from Rufino's to accommodate the beginning of college baseball season. We'll have Bruce Marshall and Troy Macron with us. Big college basketball weekend as well. Live at Lunch from Rufino's at 10 a.m. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Dream come true. You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hey guys, this is Kellen Martin with First South Farm Credit in Zachary. When you're in the market for land, you want a lender who can give you the most options. At First South, we understand what it means to own your own piece of land. Maybe you're ready to get out of that deer lease and get your own property. Or maybe you just want 10 acres to build a home on outside of the city. Whatever it is, call me, Kellen Martin, at First South Farm Credit in Zachary. Or find us online at firstsouthland.com.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
Hey, do you love beef? I mean premium Angus beef. Sagrera Farm sells the whole sides and quarters straight from the farm, ready to fill your freezer with tender, flavorful ribeyes, fillets, strips, brisket, ground beef, and a lot more. I want to introduce you to Louisiana's own Sean Sagrera of Sagrera Farms, a hidden gem just 30 minutes north of Baton Rouge. What's Sean's secret? Mating genetically superior Angus cattle and then ensuring that every day in the life of his cattle is a great one. Happy, healthy cattle, finished on grain, dry-aged, 45 days, creates consistent and predictable, flavorful beef. When you take a bite of Sagrera Farms beef, you'll know that this is not some mass-produced afterthought. So if you want the best, and I mean the best in Angus beef, go online to sagrerafarms.com, or better yet, call Sean right now at 225-719-1723. Sagrera Farms.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffinos, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Jake and James, the Trash Rangers. Do you need one more reason to switch your residential trash pickup? How about $13.95 a month for the first few months? Go to trashrangers.com and make the switch today.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Reminder that tomorrow we'll be on an hour early. We'll go from 10 until noon tomorrow to accommodate the beginning of college baseball season at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Hunt will be out at the box from noon to 2. So we'll be on an hour early tomorrow at Ruffino's. Alec Bregman headed to Boston.
Got a little cheese, huh? Some people criticizing the money he got.
3 years, $120. He's got 2 opt-outs, so this could be as little as a 1-year deal. Tigers offered him a lot more money, but not more per year. Offered him $171 over 6 years. He took 3. He's betting on himself here. He took 3 years at $120, but he's got 2 opt-outs. So he left $51 million on the table, but it would have tied him up until he was 36. So he decided to go to Fenway Park, where he's hitting a cool 75 for his career.
Yeah.
7 home runs in 21 career games there. Tomorrow at Ruffino's. We'll be there early. Thanks to the folks here at the original Walk-Ons. For Jordan, for Jimmy, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon, and stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Darren James and Associates.
All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks.